Hello and welcome everyone. 5 minutes with Sean, maybe 10. The road to 300 continues. Episode 297, my friends. It is a bit wild. Here we are on the 18th of December. Here's the thing. I like to talk about kind of wrapping up the year. I like to talk about looking ahead. And I want to talk about planning, okay? Because we talked about it a couple weeks ago on the Commitment Show. I also talked about it last week on More Cars, Less Customers show. And the idea is that the plan is where we go, right? That's where we go from. And in our industry, we seem to forget about when things happen, right? So for instance, we scramble to get advertising things aligned by like the middle of a month. Well, this month specifically, a week from now, is something that happens every single year on the same date. Christmas. Thanksgiving is variable, but it happens in the same time frame every single year, right? Easter, holidays, Memorial Day, Labor Day, you name it. Folks, we know what this shit's going to be. We know what the dates are. We know where we should be looking for opportunity, yet it seems to me that we're finding a chance to not do it for whatever multitude of reasons that there are. So then what happens is by the 6th, 7th, 8th of a month, you start worrying about what advertising alignment looks like. So here's a couple of things I recommend you. Number one, make sure you have evergreen spots for anything that you run video-wise or audio-wise that you can run from 1 to 6 if you're worried about getting incentive-based ads in there. So 1 to 6, 1 to 8 of a month, make sure you have evergreen advertising set up, ready to run. But before that, do yourself a service as we get ready to start 2024. Have a look, all right, at your actual right now calendar for next year. What are you doing in your communities? That's number one, right? Because that's easy social media fodder. And most of you need to have a better focus on social media in 2024 than you have today. It is the most cost-efficient way to be better, engage with your local users, and really get your message out there. So we're going to look at our community calendar to start the year, okay? So right now, late December, what are we doing in January, February? Typically pretty quiet for a lot of community outreach. Typically that's something that kicks off in the spring, in throughout the summer and fall. But let's say we're doing something. Let's know about it. Let's have a plan how we're going to execute on it. You already know a lot of your commitments, okay? Most of you probably don't go out and forecast spend for the year. If you do, awesome. If you don't, what I recommend to anyone is seasonal spending. All right, now I live in the Midwest. Seasons are there, 4 seasons. We know we shouldn't spend as much in January as we spend in June. We're good with that. A lot of people still don't. And that's where I think budgets go. If you want to commit to, let's call it, you want to commit to $120K a year, right? Budget. That's $10K a month. That's average. So what I'd be doing is I'd be spending 12 over here, right, in June, and I'd be spending 8 in February. 20 grand, 10,000 average, boom, done. That's how I think, and I've advised people who work with us to do that, to have that spending and to understand what it does to the metric. Because for the most part, if you're doing like a video advertising like OTT, if you're doing the audio advertising on the Spotifys of the world, a lot of these are all going to be 95 to 98 completed views. So the only thing that will move the point, well, there are 2 things. One is your money. So if you add budget, you'll get more. 2 is your CPMs. And the CPMs are variable. And folks, don't forget, next year is an election year. I fucking hate politics. I hate elections. I hate everything associated with all of it. But what it's going to do in our world, digital marketing speak, is it's going to raise CPMs in most cases because now everyone's going to battle for the eyeballs. Cost of the eyeballs are going to go up. Guess what? Have a plan to combat that. And by combating it, I do not mean spend more. I mean spend specifically. Spend where you need to spend, okay? There's a lot of, your OEM programs out there that are annoying and suck. What you can do is work within them the best that you can, but don't let your mid-level marketing managers of OEMs tell you what you should be doing. That's absurd. These people have very little clue what they're doing. And be careful of how these programs change into the new year, what you qualify for, what you don't, where they're advertising, where they don't. I'm looking at you, Stellantis. The fact that you don't understand that Performance Max now includes VLAs is making you look bad. You offered VLAs for 3 months. As soon as it moved off program into PMAX, which you allowed dealers to have PMAX but not VLAs, your head is slightly up your ass. You may want to go find it and bring it out. And in general, OEMs getting involved in marketing is annoying. We've had plenty of shows this year and showcasing why they have zero business in there. But in trying to stay with the holiday vibe of happiness, we're going to stay away from that discussion. But I'm going to tell you, it's a big, big part for me is making sure that you understand what you have coming up in the quarter. Do your marketing breakdowns by quarter, man. Guys and gals, by quarter. Look at what you want to do for Q1. Have it executed. Have the budgets. Yeah, I know shit changes. I've been in dealerships my whole life. That isn't what this is about. This is about having a plan so when things happen, you can adjust around it, as opposed to trying to have a plan a week or 10 days into the month at which the plan should have already been done. All right? So that is it for me there. Next week on the show, we're going to do a little Christmas Mental Health Monday because the show falls on Christmas. It's wild. This hasn't happened in a long time. But when you approach 300 shows, you're bound to run into it. Somebody said to me the other day, oh, it's on Christmas. You're not going to release on Monday. Wrong. Christmas, New Year's, it all falls on a Monday. Guess what? This show goes live on Mondays. It will continue to do so. Hey, might give you something fun to do on Christmas. Check in on the Mental Health Monday. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of your week.